Sticking with college basketball, though, here, March Madness did end, men's and women's. We'll talk about men's first. UConn was on top. Houdini, this is who you picked in the beginning when we were doing our March Madness preview. How'd you like them in the finals?
They were exactly what they were advertised as. I watched them a bunch of times this year, obviously because they're in the Big East. They were the clear-cut best team in college basketball all year. Caravan, Klingon, Newton, Spencer, Diarra, like they were absolutely loaded. And like the comparisons start right away. Who would win? The Villanova 2016 or 2018 team or the UConn team in 2024? And I think it's kind of a poor comparison because I really think you need to look at who would really win. Take the back-to-back champs and compare them. The Florida team in 06-07 and then the UConn team 23 and 24. So that's really where the comparison is. But I thought they were phenomenal all tournament, won every game by double digits, handled Alabama, which gave them a run, which I thought was the only tough matchup that they saw. And Zach Edey, to me, for Purdue, just flew up draft boards for me. I think he was projected to go second round. Now he's projected top 20, putting up 37 points against Klingon. Klingon's projected to go top 10. So the performance he had was great. Purdue just didn't have enough supporting players to be able to kind of facilitate around him. I think he scored 37 of like his team's 50, 56 or 60 or whatever it was. But 60, the UConn team was just fully complete. Dan Hurley has them firing on all cylinders. And then every single timeout they came out and every play was just drawn up to perfection. They executed every single play. They deserved last year. They deserved this year even more. But and Deepaul, when you're done giving your thing, I have a really, really good question for you.
Sure. And I'll be brief because you hit all the points I was going to bring up too. They were the best team. Like the teamwork that they played with was unparalleled. It truly, truly was, impressive to watch, even though the game was that freaking 9:20 tip off. That's just absolutely absurd. I'm old now. Like who the hell can stay up for that entire game? And what a strategy as well by the UConn staff and Hurley. Usually, you want to take away the team's best player, their best asset, and take away Edey. They kind of did the opposite. They said, all right, Edey's going to eat. He'll get his. If he beats us by scoring 2 points around the basket, 30 or 50 times, however many points it's going to take for him to do it, so be it. But, nobody else is going to beat us, though. And they locked everybody else down. I think, they hit 1 3 or 0 threes in the game, Purdue. So just the defense, the team absolutely deserved it. They were head and shoulders above any other team in that tournament.
That is an unbelievable point. Is if you can defend the 3-point line, a bunch of twos aren't going to kill you.
Right. So who cares if Zach completely dominates? And you're right. I think Zach Edey, I don't know if he'll be first round. I hope he is because in the early 2000s NBA, he's a lottery pick. He's a top 5 pick just because the center's there, and center's been devalued so much now. But I think, and Danny Hurley even came out and said it. If he's not an NBA player, I don't know what an NBA player is.
Yeah, no, he's really.
I'm not saying he's going to be like all pro, but he's going to be a decent player. He's not going to be Jokic out there, but he's going to be a solid contributor on a good team.
Yeah, I mean Yao Ming was really good.
Right.
Now, my question to you. And Jedi, I'm sorry if you had this written down, but I need to ask this to him. How shocked were you reading the news about Calipari leaving Kentucky?
Initially, very, just because, I'm not tapped into Big Blue Nation here, but I knew he was up for his contract, but I just didn't think that they would get rid of Cal just because all the recruits that he would bring in, and maybe he just got soured, or they got soured by all those early exits. I think that's ultimately what, kind of did him in. I'm curious if he didn't get the contract or a contract offer or not one that he liked, and that's why he bolted to Arkansas. Going to Arkansas is, I think, an even bigger story too. Like of all the squads, goes to Arkansas.
I think he's familiar with the SEC. I think he likes being in the SEC. I think he absolutely.
Kentucky.
I think he turns that program around really fast. Because it's Cal.
Oh yeah, just like he has everywhere. Yep.
And I do think Kentucky did need a new head of the helm. I think he said it. They need a new voice. I agree. I don't think his style has worked. You can't win with 19-year-olds anymore. Like you need
And he
20,
even brought that
21.
up too, that he needed to look at it, and I guess he did some inner reflection and decided he's going to do it elsewhere.
Yeah. Now, final question. If they offered Dan Hurley $10 million, do you think he bolts from UConn?
No, and I think he actually answered that question too. I think he just signed last year a contract for $6 million a year. But apparently his wife has a lot to say about that and is from the New Jersey area and does not want to move
Say
again.
less.
And yeah, she was like, yeah,
I'll just cut that. I'll just cut that.
No, you can. No, keep it in there. That's
okay,
good.
I'll keep it in because like I imagine the house he
They
lives in.
immediately reached out to him. That was the word that he kind of put out, was immediately reach out to him.
And Oates turned it down from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So just think, imagine the house he lives in Storrs, Connecticut. My goodness.